first color that I have to show you guys today is from Nars. It's called She Up. I have a couple of different brands to show you guys today because I only have 4 from Nars, so I thought I would do a couple more, and then I had 1 from Jinsoon, 1 from Urban Decay, and then I only had 5 from Illamasqua, so I'm actually going to show you all my Nars, my 1 Jinsoon, my 1 Urban Decay, and all my Illamasqua polishes for you guys today. This polish in particular is in my collection because I saw on Temptalia that she had like reviewed it and given it an A+. And that is actually a big reason why I have a lot of my high-end polishes. A lot of these high-end polishes I saw on Temptalia and purchased because she gave them particularly good results or reviews in her review process. She's not necessarily like a nail blogger, but when she finds one that is really good, I kind of always felt like, you know, oh, it must be good because, you know, she doesn't hand out A+s very easily, and she also doesn't do a ton of nail stuff. So yeah, that's a lot of the like reason why I have a lot of the high-end polishes that I have, and that would be like the story behind a lot of these high-end polishes in my collection. There are a couple other stories that I can tell you about some of these polishes, but in general, a lot of them are because Temptalia gave them an A+. She Up is a bright pink cream, and again, I bought it because it got a really good review on Temptalia. However, I never really wore it because it came in the mail. I ordered it off of Sephora, I think, and it came in the mail, and it wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. Like in Temptalia's photos, it looked almost neon. This one definitely doesn't read neon to me in the slightest. It's just a very bright pink cream. It's very similar to That's Hot Pink by OPI. It applies really nicely. It has a pretty good formula in which it's fairly opaque in one coat, but yeah, I will do 2 coats because it is still a little bit sheer. So that's the first coat of She Up. I'm going to go in with the second coat of She Up, and this does get fully opaque in 2 coats. It applies really nicely on itself. I don't even think you can actually get this polish anymore, so I'll tell you about the formula, but it's not one that I don't think you can track down. But yeah, it's really easy to use, really pretty, and it's a nice pink. So that's 2 coats of She Up. So this one I am going to destash because I don't wear it very often, and because again it's very similar to That's Hot Pink by OPI. Really nice formula, but just one that I always forget that I have, so it's going to get destashed. The next color that I have to show you is called Mash, and this and the next 2 colors that I have from Nars, the last 2 colors that I have after this, are all from a re-release collection that came out like in 2010, and it was like a vintage bring back the favorites sort of collection. I don't remember what it was called, but it had 5 colors, and I bought 3 of them because they were like super hyped colors. And these I actually saw on All Lacquered Up, which was actually like my favorite nail blog besides Scrangy at the time, because it was like, you know, it's your classic OG nail blog. But she loved this color. I believe her name is Michelle on All Lacquered Up. She loved this color and had a lot of really good things to say about it, so I picked it up. It is an olive shimmery green color. It's actually got a pretty decent formula. It's not too thin as a shimmer. So yeah, that's the first coat. I will do a second coat because it is pretty sheer. I'm going to go now with the second coat of Mash, and this actually builds up really, really well. It gets fully opaque in 2 coats. The shimmer comes out really, really nicely. It gets a little bit deeper, but that gold in the olive green sort of tone of this polish pops out even nicer in that second coat. So yeah, that's 2 coats of Mash. So here's what Mash looks like up close. This one I am going to keep for now. I'm going to see kind of how I sort out the rest of my greens at the very end of this swatching process. So yeah, that is Mash. The next polish that I have to show you is called Zulu, and this is the one that I actually purchased all of these polishes for. Like this is my favorite of the 3, I guess is what I was trying to say. This is a really beautiful sort of bottle green color. It's got a jelly formula. It's amazing. I have no other polishes quite like this. I would say the closest I have is Catherine, or Here Today, Aragon Tomorrow by OPI, but the color is totally different. And yeah, it's amazing. This is a polish that I feel like was really, really hyped when it came out in this collection because it was like one of the most coveted Nars nail polishes, I think, at the time. And it was limited edition originally, and just when it came out again, just people jumped at it. So yeah, this is definitely a polish that I was like, it was a lemming polish, and you know, I had to have it because everyone else had to have it, but it really is a beautiful polish. You can see that it is a jelly finish, so I will have to do 2 coats of this. Since it is a dark color, it does get opaque really quickly though. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat of Zulu, and this does get opaque in 2 coats. You can see that it builds up really beautifully. It does look really dark green on the nail, so when you're outside or in the light you can tell it's green, but in the dark it's definitely like black on the nail, but it's really gorgeous nonetheless. So that is 2 coats of Zulu. So here's what Zulu looks like up close. This one I am going to keep. It's one of my favorite dark greens. So yeah, this is Nars Zulu. The next polish that I have to show you, and the last Nars polish that I have to show you, is called Midnight Express. This is like the blue version of Zulu. This is a really dark midnight blue color. And just like Zulu, it has a jelly base and looks very blue in the first coat. It builds up to be very dark though, so that when it's in the light it looks blue, but in the dark it looks black. But yeah, it's a really pretty color. That's the first coat. There's not much to say about the formula. This is another color that I do really love though. It is one of my favorite blue colors. So yeah, that is the first coat of Midnight Express. I'm going to go in now with the next coat of Midnight Express, and just like Zulu, this does get opaque in 2 coats. Again, it gets really dark in 2 coats, but it looks very blue, especially in this lighting, and it's really pretty. So that's 2 coats of Midnight Express. Here's what Midnight Express looks like up close. This one I am also going to keep just to see how the blue polishes in my collection sort of sort out at the end of this process. The next polish that I have to show you is the one that I have from Jinsoon. This is called Blue Iris, and this is a polish that I also saw on All Lacquered Up because I was looking for the perfect like cobalt blue color, and I saw this one on her blog and thought I need to have it. And it actually is a very beautiful cobalt blue color. It is very similar to Revlon's Royal. So after this whole process of swatching everything is done, I will probably end up weeding this one out, but I do really like this polish. It has a jelly formula. It is, again, a cobalt blue, very pretty and just gorgeous. It does build up really nicely, so you can see it's sheer in the first coat, but it will build up really nicely in the second. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Blue Iris, and again, this builds up really nicely in 2 coats, and it is opaque in 2 coats. I really like the brush on this. This brand, I think it doesn't sell at Sephora anymore, but it used to be at Sephora. It's a high-end brand, but I never really heard about it outside of like this one color and occasionally seeing it on Sephora's website and in stores. So yeah, it's a nice polish. It's a nice brand. I like the brush, and it's really pretty. So here's what it looks like up close. Again, this one I am gonna just sort of evaluate when all of my blues are lined up and see where I need to weed things out. It is a really pretty color though. If for some reason or somewhere you guys can find this one and you're looking for a cobalt blue, then I do recommend Jinsoon's Blue Iris. The next polish that I have to show you is the one that I have, the one and only that I have from Urban Decay, and this is called Mrs. Mia Wallace. This actually came out in the Pulp Fiction collection, which the packaging is amazing. There's a little Scully on the top of this. And I'll show you really quick. The box has like a script and stuff on the inside. And I loved this collection. I didn't buy any, I actually bought just like the lipstick and the lip liner. But that was like one of my favorite brand collabs in a really long time. So that's why I picked up this nail polish. And it's actually a really pretty color. Mrs. Mia Wallace is the character that Uma Thurman plays in the movie Pulp Fiction. I will say that I'm not a super huge fan of the Urban Decay brushes. It's so skinny and so like wiggly, and I just feel like I can't get very precise with it. But it's, you know, it's a really pretty polish and a really good polish nonetheless. This is a dark shimmery red. It's got a little bit of like a cranberry tone to it, and it has a gold shimmer running through it. When I saw it, I do have to say I was surprised that they chose this tone of red, because in the movie I feel like Uma Thurman's nails were a little bit more of a bright red, like Comet Loves Cupid by OPI, for example, but it's a pretty color nonetheless. So that's the first coat of Mrs. Mia Wallace. It does go pretty opaque. I hate the brush, but it's a really easy formula to work with. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Mrs. Mia Wallace, and this does get opaque in 2 coats. It's pretty easy to build up. Again, the brush makes it really difficult it's just like a fiddly brush, and so you have to do a lot more manipulation on the nail than you should have to do with a formula that's this good. So yeah, that is 2 coats of Mrs. Mia Wallace. So here's what it looks like up close. This one I am going to keep for collector's purposes. Again, this was one of my favorite collabs that a brand has ever done, or has done in a very, very long time, either way. The next color that I have to show you is from Illamasqua. This is in the color Raindrops. The last 5 colors that I have to show you are from Illamasqua, and those are all of my Illamasqua colors. This one is another one that I saw on Temptalia. I think she said it was like her favorite polish ever at some point, and I saw it and I wasn't too hooked on it when I first saw it, but the more I saw swatches of it, the more it was like sold to me. So this one I actually ended up purchasing, I think on Sephora at some, I think VIB sale, and I bought it with Pink Raindrops from Illamasqua, which is like the pink version of this, which I've done actually a paint my nails video with, and I'll show you that next. But this one is a gray, it's like the perfect London sky gray with like little shards of pearly bits running through it to make it really look like rainy, like it's the perfect raindrops type of color. So yeah, that's the first coat. It's pretty sheer. It does build up really nicely though. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Raindrops, and this does really, really build up in that second coat, like I said. It's kind of like amazing how much this builds up in the second coat because the first coat is pretty sheer. And the shimmer pickup is really nice in this as well. I feel like the shimmer comes out really nicely in that second coat too. So yeah, that is the second coat of Illamasqua's Raindrops. So here's what Raindrops looks like up close. Really, really pretty. This one I am going to keep. I love the shimmer in this, and I use it actually quite a bit when I want some sort of like palette cleanser for my nails. So that is Illamasqua Raindrops. The next polish that I have to show you is Pink Raindrops from Illamasqua. Again, this is the pink version of Raindrops from Illamasqua. Apparently this was a 2013 Temptalia Editor's Choice Awards polish. It's on the box of the Illamasqua polish box thing. Or there's like a little sticker on it, which I mean, like, I know that the stickers get put on certain products that Temptalia like favors in the year, but I just like hadn't seen it on this box. I guess I didn't pay attention. Anyway, the pink is like a pretty fleshy toned pink. It has a little bit of like a rose shimmer running through it, and it has that same sort of pearly, shattery color or shimmer running through it to make it look like raindrops. So that's the first coat. This one is definitely more opaque than Raindrops is. I think this one has a little bit thicker of a formula, so it goes on a little bit more opaque. I'm going to go in with the second coat of Pink Raindrops, and it gets fully opaque in 2 coats. Again, this has a thicker formula, so it does get a little bit chunky in that second coat. I would say you could even do like a thick first coat and it would probably go on opaque, but yeah, that is the second coat of Pink Raindrops. So here's what it looks like up close. I really love this one. I actually really like to layer with this one. I think it gives a good color base for other things to go on top of, and you can still see like the effect of the shimmer through various sheer top coats. So yeah, this is Illamasqua's Pink Raindrops. The next color that I have to show you is called Jo'Mina from Illamasqua. This one and Nomad, and actually Scarab, the next one, are all colors that I purchased off of Haute because Illamasqua is on Haute all the time. Otherwise, Illamasqua polishes are actually really expensive. They are, I want to say in like the $14, $15, $16 range. And so when Illamasqua started getting carried on Haute pretty occasionally, like a lot for Haute it was, you know, it was like the best sale ever. So, you know, they always put up a bunch of polishes, and it's a great way to stock up on Illamasqua if you are hoping to try their nail polishes. So that's the first coat. It is a pretty like watery formula for this cream polish. It is a purple sort of wisteria color, and it's really nice. It's a pretty watery formula. So I'm gonna go in now with the second coat of Jo'Mina, and this gets opaque in 2 coats. Really nice purple color. This is a great color for like as a base for like glitter top coats because it's such a simple color and it's pretty bright and vibrant, and you know, since it is a watery formula, it is on the thinner side. So when you do layer things on top, like a glitter top coat, it doesn't get too thick. And I feel like it's bright enough, but also just, you know, just flat enough of a color that if you put something like like a black and white glitter polish on top, for example, you get to see the color underneath really brightly and nicely, but also you get the glitter top coat on top. So it's a nice base coat for other things if you ever want to do like nail art for it. So this is what Jo'Mina looks like up close. This one I am going to destash. It's really similar to Do You Lilac It from OPI, so I am going to destash it because I really love Do You Like It? Do You Lilac It by OPI. The next color that I have to show you is called Nomad. This is another one that I got off of Illamasqua, or off of Haute Look, and this is one of those colors that is like really, that was, I guess, really hyped up when Illamasqua polishes were really popular there for a second. I feel like Nomad and Jo'Mina were the colors that people talked about all the time, and so they were the ones that I did seek out on Illamasqua, or from Illamasqua on Haute Look. And this one is a bright sort of minty green color. It's not quite a pastel, it's definitely more of a bright, and it has a little bit thicker of a formula than Jo'Mina did, so it is a little bit easier to work with, to the point where it is almost completely opaque in one coat. I can show you on my ring finger if I use a little bit more polish. It is opaque, so yeah. That is, or that didn't actually turn out opaque. I'll show you on my pinky. It's opaque in one coat if you use a thick coat. So that is Nomad by Illamasqua. So here's what Nomad looks like up close. This is another one that I am going to destash because I have a lot of similarly colored polishes. So yeah, this one I don't wear very often either, so it's going to get destashed. The last polish that I have to show you is called Scarab, and this was a polish from Illamasqua that I had coveted forever. It was a polish that Illamasqua, or not Illamasqua, Tentalia had raved about. She really liked it, and because it was called Scarab, I was like totally sucked in. It's such a beautiful color. It's definitely one of those like genuine sort of treasure trove, beautiful, like deep, rich colors, and I'm like kind of a super like history nerd, so I was totally sucked in by the fact that it was called Scarab. And anyway, it's just a gorgeous color. It is opaque in one coat. If you do a thick coat like I did on my index finger, I did a slightly thinner coat on my middle finger, and you can see it is a little bit sheer, but totally doable in one coat, and it's beautiful and I love it. So that is Scarab by Illamasqua. So this is what Scarab looks like up close. It's so pretty, it's so glowy, it's a great winter fall color as well. So this one is going to stay in my stash. So these are the polishes that I'm going to keep this round. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would totally make my day. Next week, I think I'm going to have all of my MAC nail polishes to show you. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys soon.